Welcome. Please find a comfortable seated posture. I was reading some Maharaj today on this rainy stay-at-home hurricane day, and really moved by his words. But this is a calling that is from within. This practice that it's we're sharing together, we're growing together, we're studying together, but really we're learning about ourselves through ourselves. Any sort of insight that you could have in this practice is ultimately coming from you. Sometimes seeing something clearly can help, hearing something in a certain way can help, but ultimately it's our own relationship to those words or perception of those behaviors or actions of someone else that causes the shift within us. It's really our own ripening of understanding. If it wasn't, then everyone who saw that or everyone who heard the words would have the same effect. So just as a reminder, as we start to settle in here, the only person, or not even person, the only place that the teachings, the understandings, the wisdom comes from is you. And maybe you can delay it. I don't know. I'm not sure if you can speed along. Sometimes we need certain lessons to unfold in their time. But something brought you to this sit tonight, to this practice. Something within that maybe we can't quite see consciously yet. How valuable it is to take time to be quiet, to sit quiet, to let things be. I know that my conscious mind certainly can't grasp the magnitude of my actions. Can't grasp necessarily how they're affecting others or how they may continue to ripple out and change and affect the world. It's just beyond the conscious capacity. If you think about for a moment your own life, actions, just one simple thing can grow and magnify and touch and affect so much. Our conscious perception of that action is so small, so minuscule compared to the ramifications of that act. For me, this moment of understanding that just creates this sense of awe and comfort and ease that I can sort of let go, surrender even into the great magnitude, wonder, because just that one little act has such a ramification. That's happening all the time, every person. How could we expect to control, manipulate, direct, outwit the cosmos with just our little bit of conscious information we have? How could we think we're in charge? just that little bit of conscious information that we have. Maybe there's another way. Maybe we don't have to think we're in charge, that we're the doer, we're the mover and shaker. Maybe this body and this mind, they're the afterthought, they're the current, they're the effects. We're being shooken, shaken, shooken, shooken. I believe that there is a ripening happening for anyone who has this proclivity to just rest, to ponder, to become curious about inactivity. It's not even possible for the body and the mind. It's something about it I crave, inactivity. The mind's always active, the body's always active, even if it's sitting still, even if the mind is quiet, it's still active. So, how do I know about this thing? How do I have any grasp of quiet, of silent, of still, of nowhere and nothing? Where does this concept come from? Perhaps I've heard the ideas before, but how many hear the ideas and think nothing of it? Yet for me, perhaps for you, you hear these ideas and there's something that's almost like it's pulling us. We want more of it. We want to understand it. It's nothing. How could you get more of it? What could you do? So our sitting practice is really not about what we can do so much as what we can relieve ourselves of. Move on from. No longer important. It takes a lot of consideration. It takes a lot of consideration to sort through the mind. that sometimes we find things important, prioritize them, and they're not helpful. They're not bringing us closer to peace or joy, contentment. We still prioritize them. We still think about them, ruminate about them. Fixate over them. But it brings us nothing that we could want. When it does maybe bring what we think we want, it is so short and fleeting. We have to consider, was it worth all that time thinking about it? This is what a practice of nothing is about. It's about realizing our actions, our thoughts, even our speech. Some of it may not be bringing about anything worthwhile except a pressure, even a pain. And that pressure and pain can inspire us to move on. And so what feels like maybe a curse actually becomes a gift. How can we know? I don't think we can consciously truly know. But when we sit still, we allow for some more spaciousness. Spaciousness for consideration. We start to bring into light something that we cannot touch, we cannot hear, we cannot see. We bring it into light. We bring it into light by letting this dance of mirage, dance of the senses, dance of the mind, play itself out without us. We meditate on being a non-participant for a little while to consider. To reorient our priority. Give yourself some time to consider that any thought in your mind isn't worth having if you have to sacrifice the peace and stillness of knowing what you are. If you can know what you are, hold this peace and stillness, then think, do, say whatever you wish. But if they cover up, obscure, or you forget peace and stillness of what you are, you trade it for some thought. Consider, is it worth it? It's not really a trade off. You can't move closer to stillness. It emanates from what you are. You can feel the effects of being what you are. You can feel the effects of knowing you are that stillness. But you cannot attain it or become it. It's already there. The apparent distance you have to travel to get it. It's just another thought. Prioritizing being a doer of practice over just being. By all means, think whatever you think, but not at the cost of feeling, knowing what you are. You must already feel it. It's what you are. You are in the equation. You are in the process. Endlessly, ceaselessly liberating, continuously awakening, deeper, deeper. You expect the mind to stop producing thoughts, the body to stop moving. Would you truly want to be mindless, bodiless? You don't have to trade the mind and the body have come into being, and the mind and body will someday leave the being. Where can being go? We don't even know when it started. How could it go away? Embrace the stillness, the silence, the nothing of being. And immediately enjoy the time you have with the body and the mind. Don't deny personhood. It's not an exchange unless you make it one. And even then, all you get is a person trying to abandon their personhood. Just more thoughts. It's not a trade off, it's a recognition. Beingness is timeless. Beingness is still, quiet, content, empty, nowhere. We crave it because it's what we are. Thoughts, emotions, the body, they can lay on top, they can pass through. We learn to love less because with less, it is easier to remember. We learn to love just enough, just enough thought, just enough attention to the body to keep the presence, the pre-sense of ourself in the light. Don't try to go anywhere. Don't try to leave or escape. Rather, realize everything in your senses, everything in your thoughts and mind is just passing through. What you actually are remains forever at ease. Relax the body. Digest the experience.